Welcome to the newest edition of the DFO podcast. What we're going to be doing in these collective episodes over the next 50 weeks is jumping through every state and what they offer. And we'll probably stick closer to deer hunting. We'll go over a little bit of the other seasons in some of them. The order I'm going to be doing it in is the order they joined the union instead of alphabetical order or anything. I like to do things just different, so that's where I'm going to be going. So this will be the inaugural episode of it. It'll run for the next 50 weeks. They will come out on Thursdays. So each one will be titled basically what state they're in. So some of the things we're going to go over in each and every episode is when they joined the union. Obviously, it'll be in the order of when they did by the date. What they offer when it comes to public land hunting, how much property they have, if it's an over-the-counter, if it's a draw, their deer density, if we can locate it in the different states, just what their license costs, just different things I want to try and go over with every state, because as I'm learning, I want to try to educate other people, because I'm learning this as I do the research for each one. If you know more about what I'm doing than I'm doing on those states, and reach out and let us know the things are correct in them, because I'm finding everything I can. Some of the stuff can be a little bit confusing, so we're going to go from there. And that's how this is going to work over the next 50 weeks. Hope y'all enjoy it. I've researched several of them so far, and I enjoyed myself trying to learn more about each state. Thanks. Delta Lodge Outdoors. This is your view of every state from more like a 30,000 viewpoint. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Delta Lodge Outdoors States Edition. Today we're going to be talking about Tennessee. Became a member of the Union June 1st, 1796. So what is that, 4 years after Kentucky to the date? All right. Let's see. Tennessee has somewhere around 1 million acres of public land. And they actually have a very early season. It's late August in some areas, even on some public land. So that is something to look into if you're definitely looking to try to get a velvet hunt in. But their general archery season starts like the last weekend of September, somewhere in that area. So it's still a few days earlier than some of the other states. Like I said, there's somewhere around 1 million acres of public land, around 900,000 head of deer in the state, which is not too bad. They average about 19.6 deer per square mile. Overall, not a bad number. They average 160 to 170 deer killed a year. You're allowed 2 bucks. Does vary depending on the units and the WMA. So that was something you'd have to look into to make sure that you're on the right track of what you're doing. Their license, from what I can find, you can get a 7-day one for $214, or you can buy the annual plus a $24 for $305. But with either one, if you're going to hunt WMA, you have to add a $24 permit to that for WMA, from what I can gather. So you're looking at like $329 a year to hunt Tennessee. Tennessee, over the past few years, has become what some people refer to as a sleeper state. They're getting some pretty decent deer out of it because they've been managing their herd decently. It's had some really good deer in the last few years come out of there if you keep up with it. I'm not going to go in and cite every one of them. I know they've had some. I know some guys that are, talked about it on different podcasts and everything. I could be mistaken. I want to say the hunting public has killed some deer there that were pretty decent. It might not have been them, but I do know somebody that's I can't think of it right off, but it was one of the bigger names that's killed a few decent deer and everything. Spook Span, I believe, maybe one, but that's a whole nother ball game. I don't know if y'all know who he is. There's a lot of mixed emotions about that dude. I don't have anything good or bad to say because I don't know him. I've just listened to some podcasts that have hit both ways on him. I'd like to pick his brain and see and form my own opinion from being educated by him. But I want to say he lives in Tennessee, and hunts everywhere. I could be wrong. But yeah, Tennessee is one of those. It's that middle range state. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 of ooh and ah, I want to go there, just because it's not my uncle lived there for years, and he's killed quite a few deer there, and that's what he always said. He's like, it's just pretty easy hunting, and the uncle I'm talking about is not the best deer hunter, so for him to say it's easy hunting, it's got to be pretty freaking easy. So I don't think Tennessee is my top 10, but I do know that it is considered a sleeper state. It's gotten better in the last few years. It would probably be middle range for me, so 50 states, it would probably be in that 20 to 25 range for me. They've got, like I said, a great healthy herd, plenty of public land to hunt. Their archery opens fairly early. Their herd per square mile density is pretty decent. They average 160, 170,000 head of deer killed a year. Really not a bad number for the number they have there, 900,000 roughly. You're allowed $2. Like I said, your does vary depending on location. And your license are $305 annually plus a $24 WMA permit. That's not a bad place to go hunt. It's mid-level. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most expensive, and it's for the bang for the buck. Literally, what you're gonna get for what you're putting in is on par with some of the other states, especially it in Kentucky. Tennessee and Kentucky are kind of what and what with each other. Tennessee has gotten a little more last few years traffic than Kentucky. Still got that old school notoriety because of what it's did in the past. Tennessee's sneaking in there, which I kind of like. Kentucky ranks ahead of it to me, I think, off just nostalgia, but give it a few more years and I think you reverse those two because, like I said, Tennessee has the last few years have really started moving forward in the world of what they have. And sorry, my chair's squeaking as I move around. And you're looking at like $330 a year to hunt it, and Kentucky is like $410, $395. So they're what and what with each other. Their seasons. Kentucky starts, and this was last week's podcast. Y'all know this. I don't have it written down, but it's somewhere in the podcast. I don't remember when Kentucky starts. But Tennessee, for the money, Tennessee is not a bad place to hunt. If I had to pick between it and some of the other states, like I said, it's probably mid-grade on my list, 20, 25. It's not bad, though. I would definitely look into it if I'm looking for a mid-range hunt with a high upside for public land. With saying that, it's like you have a really good opportunity to kill a quality, and there is some quantity there. I mean, we're going to say there's a lot of quantity there, and you have the upside of quality in the right spots. So if you put your work in and put your time in, you have the opportunity to kill a really nice deer there, even on public land. And then you also have the opportunity to get to fill a tag. And I know for a lot of guys hunting out of state, and gals, it's about quality, some it's about quantity, and the ability to see. And it's like, it depends on what state I pick and go to, what I'm looking for. Like, Tennessee, certain areas, I don't want to. Somebody can correct me that knows more about it, but you go to most of the places there, 130 to 150 is going to be what you're looking for. So you wouldn't put that on a level of Kansas, where you're looking at a 150 up is what you're going there and expecting to harvest, or in Iowa. But at Kentucky and Tennessee, you put them what you're looking close to the same, that 140 range, and you're in the ballpark, 140. And I think and for the money, both of those are great states to go to. Tennessee is not a bad choice. I may dive deeper into Tennessee at a later date because, like I said, it's over the counter, $330. You can't really go wrong with that. For me, the driving to some of these places is really not a big issue because you just drive anyway. Like, I don't know. That's where a lot of people get turned off depends on the travel time. That's some of the most fun, especially if you're recording it and bringing friends with you and recording it, because you're having a blast and the camaraderie there. But I wouldn't sleep on Tennessee if I was, just wanting to make a good hunt. I don't know if it'd reach my top. It's definitely not my top 10 for like my personal choice. Like I said, those will come out later. But my personal opinion. And you may have yours. So thank you. This was Tennessee. To recap, June 1st, 1796. Select WMAs the last week of August. All general archery last week of September. 1 million head of deer. 1 million plus acres of public land. 900,000 head of deer. Around 19.6 deer per square mile. They kill 160, 170,000 a year. You get $2, and your does vary anywhere from 2 to 4 depending on the unit in the WMA. Your tags $305 annually plus a $24 WMA permit. That sums up Tennessee. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Thanks. Don't Fly Outdoors.